To illustrate that most flat earthers are using an even more flawed and outdated model than the one they think they're using, first I'm going to start by showing you a 2.5 minute clip, and then I'll follow up with a short commentary. Note how the illustration in the clip depicts the geocentric model of our solar system.
Let us consider the motion of the planets again, this time by comparing not merely the predictive accuracies of geocentrism and heliocentrism, but their predictive power. Newton's Principia put heliocentrism on a firm theoretical foundation when it was published in 1687, which had been lacking ever since Copernicus had posthumously published his treatise on the subject some 150 years prior. In the intervening time, the collective works of Galileo, Bray, Kepler, Descartes, Leibniz, and Hooke had helped to flesh out the details of the model, but it was Newton who drove the last nail into the coffin of geocentrism. Ptolemy's Almagest had been written about 1500 years prior to the birth of modern science, and contains 13 volumes which describe how orbits and epicycles function within the celestial sphere, but there is no common, underlying principle to any of it. It is all one big, excruciating, trigonometric mess. Classical orbital mechanics, by contrast, begins with only 3 laws of motion and 1 law of gravity, and from this basis is capable not only of matching the predictions of the significantly more convoluted Almagest, but can also be used to calculate escape velocities, ballistic trajectories, and basically every mechanical operation needed to produce the Industrial Revolution. Everything that can be explained by geocentrism can be explained far more efficiently by heliocentric classical mechanics, which are also capable of predicting and explaining things that geocentric physics could never even begin to touch. The adoption of a different set of background propositions allowed classical physics to extend beyond the very limited domain of Ptolemaic kinematics, markedly improving science's predictive power in the process. But of course, there was that problem with Mercury's orbit that Newtonian mechanics was unequipped to handle. As indicated earlier, it was ultimately resolved by general relativity, but in the process of this paradigm shift, our understanding of the world became even more powerful and efficient. All that you need is a single tensor equation, plus the equivalence principle, and now, not only can you explain everything that classical physics could, but you can now predict gravitational lensing, black holes, gravity waves, the expansion of the cosmos, gravitational time dilation, and the shape of the entire universe. None of these things were even remotely accessible by classical physics. The takeaway here is that paradigm shifts, which require the sacrifice of highly connected background propositions and the corresponding recontextualization of many facts, will not transpire unless there is going to be a net gain in predictive power.
You might have noticed that in the geocentric or Earth-centered model, the Earth is not at the bottom of our known world, but at the center, where things in the sky can go both over and under us. Of course, you wouldn't see the sky under us because the ground is in the way. But this is something the geocentric and much more accurate heliocentric model actually have in common. To anyone out there who honestly thinks the Earth we live on is a disc-shaped object with the sun, moon, and planets all contained within a horizontally rotating dome that holds in the atmosphere, I would like to point out that this model is actually farther from the truth than the geocentric model of the solar system. Yes, the geocentric model is demonstrably wrong, but at least it explains things that the disk under the dome model can't. For example, by viewing the planets as moving in epicycloid paths, the geocentric model is able to reasonably accurately predict the occasional retrograde motion of planets in the sky, and easily explains that the reason we can't see all of the planets every night is because at any moment some of them are in a position below the horizon, which puts the globe-shaped Earth in the way of seeing them. This does away with the disc-shaped model's problem of how it could be possible to see stars at night all the way around the horizon if they're farther away than things which are supposedly too far away to see at the same time, such as the sun and some of the planets. The clip I played earlier is from a 37-minute video you can find on King Crocoduck's YouTube channel. The original video is named "Is Science a Social Construct?" I recommend watching the entire video, or better yet, go to his uploaded videos and just watch them all. Thanks.